Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well. And today we are going to draw anime girl, a warrior anime girl. And I took some inspiration from my favorite manga, Twin Star Exorcist. So without any further ado, let's begin. So first of all, we are going to draw the anatomy of the character. Make sure to simplify the skeleton as much as possible because it is just a starting step and we don't want to go into too much detail. Once you get the basic shape of the body or the part that you are drawing right now, you can start adding a little bit of details. Like here you can see I have started adding some hairs and some eyes and eyelids because I have now simplified the skeleton and got a basic idea where the eyes, nose and mouth will be. Now slowly and steadily I'm going toward the other parts of the body like the chest area, the torso, the pelvis and the legs. Here you can see I'm giving more definition to the face right now because I have completely simplified the skeleton and now I know a good amount of idea. I have a good amount of idea where the parts of the face are going to be and now I can start working on that area particularly, not the entire body but just that area. One advice while making drawings like this is that you have to be patient. Personally speaking, I guess it took me around 2 days to make this drawing, and like in gaps, I took some gaps. It took me around 4 to 5 hours to make this complete drawing, and it turned out pretty well. I hope you guys see this in the later video. If you stay with me till the end, you will get to see how it looks exactly like. Now I'm working on the chest area, and one thing which you like to keep in mind while on the chest area is that our ribcage represents an egg. Whenever you're drawing a ribcage, think of an egg placed in different angles. You can practice this by drawing different shapes from different angles. You can use references if you're a beginner and make sure that you study anatomy. And one thing that people try to hesitate on is that never draw from references. And personally speaking, I don't think there is anything wrong while making things from references. Many senior comic artists, my seniors, draw using references, and I don't think there's anything bad about it. It doesn't question your knowledge of anatomy or it doesn't question your basics. On the other hand, on the contrary, they help you solidify your basics and help your fundamentals get stronger. So if you're drawing using references, there is no shame in it, but make sure to not copy everything as it is exactly if you're making references. Many people say that while you're using references in making original art, so you should try. to only copy one aspect of the drawing or the photograph that you're seeing in front of yourself, and it, it is a totally different thing if you are studying something using a reference. But if you're making an original artwork using references, then only try to copy the anatomy or the pose of that following picture. Thank you. Now I'm working on the leg area of the character. I'm going to give her some sort of armor or some special ability so that she may seem special. And if you guys think there's something else far better suited for this character, you may take your time or change the idea. It's totally up to you. One more thing I would like to add, many people think that if they copy the character 100% exactly the same, it is their original artwork, but it is not. It can be called as a study work actually. If you are including portrait, if you're making some sort of still life, these kind of works are majorly called study works. Basically, it means you are studying some artist or some reality or any sort of reference in order to fixing your fundamentals. If you think otherwise, make sure to leave your opinion in the comment section, and I would love to hear what you guys have to think. Now, since we have finished our idea, the rough work of the idea basically, then we can head towards inking. While inking, make sure that the inner lines are thinner than the outer lines, and make sure that the finishing should be very nice. If your character or your drawing doesn't give a finalized look or a very finished look, then you cannot call it inking, it will be called penciling. Everything that I just write now before this step could be called visualization. In this part, you can see I am struggling a little bit with the placement of the eye and the lips. For this particular problem, what you can do is you can flip the canvas horizontally. When you flip the canvas, you will be able to see if the placement of the eye and the mouth is correct or not, and if there is any mistake in the overall drawing. One advice for all the beginner artists who have started drawing just recently a few years back, you might go through something you call an writer's block or an artist block, where you can think of anything, where you can draw anything, where you cannot just when you're not just able to do what you want to do, or you're not able to get your desired outcome. During that time, if you're not a professional artist, make sure to stay away from your drawing for a while, get involved in some other activity, and if that suits you, if you want to join a sport, you can join a sport. You can go to swimming, summers are up, you can join a sport, you can try a new hobby. But if you're a professional artist who has made it into the industry, you have to know this harsh truth that no matter how irritated or frustrated you are with the art block, people will say there's no such thing as an art block and it's all in your mind, which is kind of true, which is what I have learned during my years as a professional artist. And I hope you learn it too as soon as possible, because it is really important to know that everything from your success to your failure is all in your mind. There's no such thing as an art block. And even if you're not able to draw something, you can always try using references, as I said earlier, to increase your drawing skills and your observation. If you're still in the video, congratulations, you have taken your first step into becoming a better artist. Here you can see I am making the outer lines of the drawing thicker than the inner lines, because the subject must be highlighted, especially when you add the background and everything. Make sure that the foreground is the thickest of lines, then midground is a little bit thinner, and the background is even thinner or barely visible while drawing this composition or any composition that you have to draw, because it helps us in focusing on what the major subject is of the entire art. By making the basic silhouette of the drawing, I am going to get a basic idea of what the entire drawing should look like. Now I'm going to give some minor details of the art in the leg area, like the armor or the weapon that she's wearing right now. If you think that you don't want to see this part, you can skip ahead, because basically anyone can add details into the drawing. Even a child can find details, because details are there in everything. As an artist, your role should be to simplify the drawing as much as possible, which is something that I did until now. But now, in order to render my drawing, the right word for any detail is called rendering. And to render my drawing, I'm going to draw some hatching. I'm going to draw some metal work into it. I'm going to add texture into the drawing. Again, you can skip this part because right now I'm just adding random details into my character, whatever I think is looking good. And you can do it too. You can add random details into your character so that it may look filled up or complete. Right now, you are noticing one thing that I have drawn the inner lines thinner from the outer area just because I want to highlight the entire silhouette, not every detail of my drawing. But once the render is complete, the entire image will be highlighted automatically. If you want to see how, make sure to keep along with me. Now I am adding the core shadows. For this you have to study a lot and lot of light and shadow study or still life if you want. But if you don't think you can do it, there's no need to majorly add core shadows into your drawing, because even if you don't add core shadows in your drawing, it can still look good and it still may come out amazing. It basically depends on the style of your art or the way you choose to draw your art. It totally depends on you. If you think that you cannot add core shadows in your drawing the way I am doing it, then you are free to skip this part. So here I have added all the blacks where I wanted to. Now all that is left is rendering of the entire drawing, which is basically consisting hatching, cross hatching and grayscale. Here I have added all the blacks in the area where they should be, and for the hatching I would recommend try to think where the contour line should be going. Like think of it as the area filling the shadow. At the same time you also have to think about the bends and the curves of the object that the hatching is done upon. Like here in the leg area there is a curve, so I will give it a slightly curve to my hatching and the contour lines. So as the same way you can keep proceeding on to it and tell me how it looks. Now for adding the grayscale, just think about the areas that you want in different color rather than the body itself. How you want to highlight the clothes, or which part of the clothes you want to highlight in the entire body, and how it should look different from the skin itself. After adding the gray shades and the background to the entire drawing, now my drawing is about to be complete, and here's the final result. Okay guys, if you like the video and the tutorial, make sure to leave a comment, make sure to like this video, and make sure to share it with the friends. Thank you very much. Bye.